Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we are going to talk about Gamemasters, 5 myths of D&D that are very much, he did a whole video on it, that are very much not myths. Every single one of them is a 100% cold, hard fact, in my humble opinion. And today we're going to talk about only clerics can heal. So Gamemasters is doing what a lot of people are doing. Dungeons and Dragons has a tough reality, and that reality is that it is outrageously difficult to be a dungeon master, and increasingly, I think it's really outrageously difficult to be a player, right? A dragon master, and people hate this. They want to tell people, "Oh, it's easy. Jump in the water. The jump in. The water's fine." No, we D&D is a cold plunge. It is a cold plunge, and it is not for the faint of heart. It really isn't, and it's extremely difficult on the dungeon master side and on the dragon master side. And people just don't want that to be a reality, but it is. And so he is saying, oh, it's a myth that only clerics can heal. Now we know where he's going, right? He's like, oh, bards can heal, um, and and you could get potions, right? You can just buy potions, and druids have goodberry, right? But here's the problem, okay? One, there are other classes that can heal, but they can't do what clerics do. And the reality is, you are not going to be able to get the job done with a druid or a bard. They are absolutely incredibly deficient when it comes to healing, right? Clerics are built to heal. They do it better than anything in the game, and not by a little, by a massive amount. A massive amount, right? To the point, to also, clerics are the only class in the game that can cast resurrection, except for bards, right? And but again, bards and druids have healing spells, but at a massively reduced rate, right? And so, if you need someone who's going to be going on the adventure to heal the group, you need a cleric. You need a cleric. Okay. Now, if you don't have a cleric, then you're going to have to rely on potions, and you're going to have to restock every time you come in, and they are not cheap, right? And even if they are cheap, they come in bottles, right? You're adventuring, they're going to smash. It's not real. Clerics are the only ones that heal at a proficient, stable, adequate amount in Dungeons and Dragons, right? And it goes up even beyond this, right? The other thing is, they're the only ones that actually the lore attaches to. Resurrection is a thing in Dungeons and Dragons. It makes sense that a god can bring somebody back to life. You're not going to get resurrection from a bard or from a druid, right? It just doesn't work. So the reality is, technically, there are classes that heal, but only clerics can really heal in Dungeons and Dragons. You need a cleric. The other thing is, even if you're saying you don't need a cleric within your group, you 100% need a cleric when you're done with your adventure. You're going to go back. You're going to get healed up by clerics. They can get rid of conditions, and the reality is, bards and druids just do not get it done. And don't even talk to me about those nonsense soul sorcerers. That's ridiculous. So it is not a myth. It is a reality of Dungeons and Dragons that functionally, only clerics can really heal, and really only clerics are the only ones that make sense and can functionally bring resurrection, which is a major part of the game, right? So the reality is, he's 100% wrong. Gamemasters is outrageously wrong on this. And the other thing is, clerics are absolutely a load-bearing wall in Dungeons and Dragons. Many groups will not even proceed until they have every role covered, right? And you cannot cover a cleric's, and by that I mean fighter, wizard, rogue, cleric, right? And by that I mean, you're not going to get it done with druid, and you're not going to get it done with bard. Functionally, you absolutely need a cleric. Clerics are the only ones who can heal in Dungeons and Dragons. It's part of the lore. It is a load-bearing wall. And if you pull it out, Dungeons and Dragons will not function like Dungeons and Dragons. You absolutely need only clerics can heal in Dungeons and Dragons at the functional macro level, right? Also, when it comes to myths, that's something that people believe at the macro level, and people are not wrong. It is literally part of the core four, and without it, people are like, "Oh, that's a four-legged table without missing one leg, and it is going to fall over." Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like, subscribing, and have a fetchable ending.